My name is Miriam Kirkendall. I am a certified teacher, grades K through 12 in the area of theater arts. I've been teaching in Cabarrus County. This is actually my 10th year of teaching. I've been at Cox Mill High School for the past 8 years, so that's since we've been open. The Winter One Acts is something that we started when we got the advanced theater class our second year that we were open. So the first year that the school was open, we didn't have any seniors, so there was no advanced theater class. So the second year we were open, part of the highest level of theater class is that the students learn how to become better playwriters and also learn how to be directors, and I think it helps them be better performers. So the whole purpose of the class is for them to write a 30-minute play and then direct a 30-minute play. For the students who are performing in the one acts, there's no grade attachment, there's no requirement, there's no anything. They're just giving up their free time, versus the directing students, which this is a big, giant graded project for them, which I guess adds to the stress level, but adds to the fun that they've worked so hard on these performances, and it's so important to them. These are their written plays that they've worked so hard on and created, and now they're sharing them with everybody. This year we have 3 directing students, so they've been a part of this process from the beginning. So they wrote the plays and then they switched them, and now they're directing the plays. And at that point, when they became directors, they opened it up to the whole entire rest of the student body to audition and be a part of these plays. So anyone that you see on stage is giving up their free time to participate. My role in the productions is a producer or an overseer. I try to stay out of the way a lot to let the directors fully be in charge, because that is truthfully what their job would be in the real world. If they were directors, there isn't somebody else kind of coming and overseeing and taking control from you, which I feel like as a teacher at the school, if I walk in, I automatically become the authority figure, and it shouldn't be me, it should be the directors. I feel like it's such a teacher answer, but I feel like anybody is good in theater. If you enjoy doing it, then be here. And there's a spot for everybody in theater, which I think is great. Not everybody likes to be on stage and in front of people, but then you can be backstage and be that creative kind of person, helping make the costumes or helping make the set or helping make the lights or the sound. There's a role for everybody. I think real world application is interviewing skills. Can I be loud? Can I be clear? Can people understand me? Do I have the confidence to look at a person and shake hands and smile and say my own name with confidence? Here you don't just get to work solo and alone and by yourself. There are always other people to get along with and report to. And I think that working in a play with other cast members and a director and a technical person, like all of that conglomeration of how do I talk to these people, how am I nice to these people to get what I need to have happen, that's life.
So my job, I usually do stage management, and that's where I help during rehearsals. I keep people doing what they're supposed to be doing. So getting people to go where they need to go on the stage, when they need to be there, and getting things like props and set pieces on and off stage at the correct time. And then I come back here during the actual shows and run lights and stuff. The way that I work with my directors, I tend to try to keep their expectations to a reasonable level. A lot of times directors will have grandiose ideas of what they want to have happen, and they want to have people flying around or things fly in or stuff like that, and we don't have that. But try to keep things as controlled as possible. The job of the stage manager is to take the vision of the director and turn it into something that people can actually watch, because the director has a vision in their head, but only the director can see it. This one is our light board. These are our submasters, so I can change house lights. We use this to record and execute different cues for the shows that we do.
I guess I've kind of always had like a lowish self-esteem, and becoming a freshman, I was like, I really want to try something that will probably like change that for me, and it did. So I decided to continue because like I felt myself gaining more confidence and being more outgoing. It's been kind of rough. It's hard because the majority of people who audition for one acts are like underclassmen, and they're still getting like used to the whole like theater and performing thing, so it's hard to like introduce them to that and get them used to like, you know, following rules and like warming up correctly and all of those things. It was kind of difficult because going into it, we had about like a month and a half to write 30 pages, and you think that's like a lot of time until it's like 2 weeks until the deadline and you only are on like page 13, and then you're like freaking out, but it gets easier.
When I first found out that I was accepted and allowed to take part in this class, I immediately started thinking about ideas for my play and what I wanted to do, so I had a bit of a head start. There was still a bit of a rush at the end, but it was still fun.
Honestly, I took theater as a whim. I just kind of took it and I ended up loving it. Theater is kind of my home now. It's definitely been a journey. I haven't really had that much experience writing, so it was definitely something I wanted to try, and it's paying off so far. Everything's going pretty well. It's a long process so far, but I think it'll definitely be worth it in the end. I thought of my idea over the summer. It was literally like 3 a.m. and I woke up from like, I was like falling asleep, and I woke up and I was like, oh, I have this idea. I literally wrote it all down that night, and I have like this big long draft. But the actual writing of it is a lot more stressful than you would think it would be, because it's a lot. 30 pages is a lot, especially when you're trying to create a dialogue that like flows smoothly.
I like how we have free range in like creativity, and you can create your own characters and story, or you can become a different character every day, and it's never the same.
You can be yourself around them, and I feel like you all have like common interests and the same passion for acting and, you know, being directed by a director or directing yourself. So I feel like you guys have common interests and you can all bond because of that. The hardest thing I would say is building a character and adjusting to a new character and making that character seem genuine and making a connection to every other person that's on stage with you.
It's just like you have such a safe environment where you can be goofy and you can explore different ideas, and everyone supports you and is always behind you, and you just create really like lifelong friends. You know what's going on.
Mia, you can't do that. Please just stop for a second.
No,
Listen.
you stop. You're acting really weird. Just